Welcome to the PopCast, where it's all about
Fingerboarding.
Ahoj, Bristova Deska. This is Ollie.
And this is Tom.
Thank you for listening to the 8th episode of our Fingerboard PopCast. I think we have a little bit of explanation to do to you, our listeners. We already put a short statement out on Instagram, but Instagram is what it is. It's short, nobody reads, everyone wants to see pictures and short videos, preferably fingerboard clips probably. And this is why we want to tell you what's going on and why you had to wait so long between episodes 7 and 8. So, as you may know, these are not our full-time jobs. The Fingerboard PopCast is not our full-time career. And therefore, we have a private life and a job life. And in both of our lives, a lot has changed. Thankfully, job-wise, nothing has changed for Tom. So he is still doing awesome fingerboards, partly. And for me, I moved to another city and so on. I don't want to go too much into detail, but anyway, there was a lot going on. But we are still very much motivated to do this podcast, and we still want to deliver news to you on a regular basis. So now we're back, and it might not be every 2 weeks, but we are definitely trying our best to deliver you as much fingerboard goodness onto your ears as we can. Yeah. Tom, do you feel like I forgot something?
No, not really. I think you explained it very well. Thanks for that.
Okay, sweet. You also may notice that in some episodes we don't have all categories, and in others we have more categories. But as I said, some weeks we may step a bit shorter and deliver less content, but therefore another episode. And some weeks we have more time, and then we deliver the full-on PopCast goodness. Yeah, cool. So we leave it there and go straight into the news.
And our first news this time is that the Blackriver-ramps team is growing. They announced 2 new team riders, whose names are Thom McInally, who's an OG fingerboarder from the UK, and Fabian Kronsteiner, who many of you should know from his Instagram grind, which is pretty big right now. Yeah, and we contacted both of them and asked them some questions about how they got on the team.
And we will start presenting you the answers of Thom McInally, who is a UK OG, as Tom said. And this is what my first question also was about. It is safe to say that he is one of the UK pioneers, and I wanted to have a real quick rundown of how he started fingerboarding and what was his first contact with other people in the scene.
Hi guys, thanks for inviting me to speak on your podcast, and also your compliment. I think I'm in the very, very small minority of people with how I started fingerboarding, as I discovered fingerboarding before I discovered skateboarding. We were on a family holiday to Florida in 2000, and we got a McDonald's toy, and it was the Fingerboard branded fingerboard. It had this green ramp and like a clear plastic fingerboard, and I was just always flicking it around. A few years later, I got a tech deck for my birthday. I think that was in 2004. And then soon after, I ended up creating an account on the Tech Deck forums. But there was always a buzz about another forum, FFI. So I ended up getting an account on there, and I think that was in 2005. And that's when I discovered how deep the scene actually was. And soon I realised there were other riders from the UK on there, the true pioneers, like Martin Ilsley, Tina Wade, and Simon Cartledge.
For the second question, we were thinking that most of you should know his Instagram videos with his techie lines and stuff, and we were wondering when the first company contacted him about sponsoring.
So my first sponsor was Arctic Tuning, run by Martin and Tina, I just mentioned. And Arctic, they used to provide like screws to improve or repair tech deck trucks. And this is a time long before professional trucks. So they'd have like kingpins, axle screws, thinner bearing axle screws so you could tune your trucks. And this was round about the time too when Flatface was just starting to bring in bearing wheels. So everything just seemed to develop at a similar time. But with how I got sponsored by them, at the time, there was a contest on FFI called Best of the Scene, or BOTS for short. It was an international contest, and every country had its own team of 4 or 5 riders. Martin invited me to be part of the English team, but for some reason we couldn't fill it. So we had to invite Joe Leclerc from Luxembourg to join us, and he used to run Euro wheels. After that contest, Martin invited me onto the Arctic team, and some of the other members were Jay Linehan, Manu Oberle, and Brandon Jones. And honestly, I was so bad at fingerboarding back then. But Martin and Tina, they really championed British riders and always helped to promote them. So I cannot be more thankful for them to give me a platform like that.
And now that you're on the Black River team, when was the first time you heard about Black River, and how did the contact evolve later on about sponsorship?
Pretty much as soon as I joined the forums, I knew about Black River. I think everybody did. I got my first products from them, which was a kink trail. It was the one that was about 30 or 40 centimeters in length. It was absolutely huge. Anyway, my first contact with them, either speaking or email, was when I ended up getting my big mini. I had to email them for a custom shipping quote. The reply was from Denise. She explained at the time, like the big mini had just changed from the rolling to the death box, which is what they use today. So I ended up agreeing, obviously got it shipped, and it's at my home now. But Denise, I ended up meeting her in 2011 at Fast Fingers, and she remembered my email all those years later. As for the sponsorship, well, I was out of work due to COVID, as were a lot of people, and I wanted to continue doing my graphic design work. I knew Black River, they appreciated design and illustration, so I emailed Denise and offered her some help. One conversation led to another, and the next thing I knew, I was part of the team.
And then we wanted to know from Thom, now that he is on Black River, what are his thoughts on being on the team?
Honestly, it still hasn't fully sunk in yet that I'm part of Black River. They've been a company that I've looked up to for the past 15 years, and to now be part of that is a dream come true. Like, they've got such a rich history in fingerboarding, and the team throughout the years has just been so innovative. So to be recognized as part of that is really surreal. Yeah, I got the email that I was on the team like one morning, and I was that excited I had to wake my girlfriend up to tell her the news. Like, even my parents, God bless them, I annoyed to death with fingerboarding. Even they understand how big of a deal this is for me. And, well, they're just as excited as I am.
So, thank you, Thom, for taking time to answer our questions. And as all you frequent listeners know already, we gave him some last words to share with you.
Of course, I'd like to say thank you to Martin and Denise for the chance to be on Black River. I just hope I can make them proud. And of course, there's the long-time support of my other sponsor, Ricardo from Oak Wheels. Finally, thank you both, Thom and Ollie, and for your effort that you put into every single episode of the podcast. I've listened to every episode so far, and I love how it's remained as fresh as the first.
Yeah, that's it for Thom's part, and now we come to the questions we asked Fabian Kronsteiner. And our first question was, since when has he been dreaming of being on the Blackriver-ramps team?
Yo, hi Ollie and Tom from Fingerboarding PopCast. It's me, Fabi, from Steyr, straight out the OG Fingerspeak town. Thank you for asking me these questions. I really feel honored. And yeah, let's start with the first question, I think. So, I found out that I want to be in the fingerboarding Black River team since I found out that there is actually a fingerboarding team. So I didn't knew it at the beginning. So it was pretty early in my fingerboarding career. I ordered in 2005 my first Black River Big Mama and my first fingerboard. It was Wellenwood from Emil. He was the owner of the Fingerspeak shop, and it was the worldwide first fingerboarding shop. So it was super sick to have it in my local city. And from the first moment on, I was like, okay, fingerboarding, this is it. I need to stay on the fingerboarding train and keep shredding and trying new things. And this was the time everything started and got super intense, more and more every day. Super nice times.
And our second question was, why did he choose Black River to be his main sponsor? And is it maybe because it's his favorite company?
So, yeah, we can talk about this question for days and wouldn't come to an end, I think. Why Black River? I can break it down and say it simple. In my perspective, this is just my opinion. In my eyes, I think without Black River, there would be no fingerboarding, at least not in the scale we all know these days. So Black River is the fingerboarding company in my eyes, and the question is not why Black River, it's more like who else if not Black River. I know that there are a lot of fingerboarding companies, like thousands nowadays. They're popping out of nowhere. But it's also cool to see that the scene is growing and people are working and doing and creating. But Black River was the one who started and did make things big and people get noticed, and this wouldn't be able, or the companies wouldn't be able nowadays to create something if Black River didn't start it back then, including the whole OG Black River crew for sure. There are a lot of people involved to get stuff done like they did. So Black River is for me a whole crew and a whole company, and it's a whole lifestyle. So Black River is for me fingerboarding.
And as with Thom McInally before, we also were interested here in how Fabi's first experience with Blackriver-ramps were, and when he met someone personally for the first time who is involved with the company.
My first Black River moment was for me my order in 2005. This was my very first experience with Black River. I got my first ramps and my first fingerboard and was able to shred. In the next couple of years, I literally grew up in the Fingerspeak store, and also there were a lot of events and contests in Austria and Germany where I got to know Martin and Denise a bit better, and I would say in 2009 started everything a bit more because I got sponsored from Fingerspeak, and I think Black River or Martin and Denise got more attention on me and I was known as the little finger speak dude, who was half the size of everybody and literally wasn't able to ride every ramp because sometimes they were just too high for me. But I still played game of skate against Schmidi and Flo and all the other finger speak dudes. It was just super fun and yeah, really the best time of my life. Super good times.
Also, Tom and Fabi are probably in a place where many kids want to be. They are now Black River team riders. And we were wondering from Fabi, did he do something actively to become a Black River team rider? Or did he just live his fingerboard life and it happened?
This question is super fun because, to be honest, I really don't know. I don't know what I did to make it happen. And I think I just fingerboarded since 15 years. This is what I did and had contact with Black River since day one and always were on contests, events, tours, Germany, Czech Republic, in Austria. So yeah, really was on the road and had fun, and I think this is the main part. This year in August we took like a little time out and drove to Schwarzenbach, Flo, Schmidi and me in Black River town. Hell yeah, for sure. Damn good times. We had really good times, took a lot of pictures, filmed a lot, talked a lot about upcoming projects and stuff. And yeah, I think this was the final thing. Simple, but yeah, this is it.
And our next question was, how did they exactly tell him that they want him on the team, and how did that feel for him?
So yeah, on our last day, on our trip at Black River Town, we went to Martin into the office to take some products with us, and yeah, I went to Martin on the table to give him my address for sending me the bill, and he was writing all the stuff down, and then he was like, "We put you in the team now, you're in the team now," and wrote sponsoring on the paper. And I was like, fuck yeah, for sure, I'm down. Really appreciate it and stuff, and was super psyched on getting on the team now. And yeah, it was a really special moment for me and super good day. And yeah, when I think back, I just need to smile because it's so amazing. Yeah, on our way home, we drive like 4 hours from Steyr to Schwarzenbach, and we already talked about how we can, or what we can do for the welcome part. And yeah, a few days later, I already filmed the bangers with Flo behind the cam. He is the master of filming and editing. You definitely have to check out the part if you haven't. It's on the Black River channel on YouTube, and I really liked the video. It came out super good, and I take the chance and the opportunity to thank Flo again for putting in all the work and creating such a masterpiece. Thank you, and please check out the clip. It's definitely worth it, and we would appreciate it.
And now that Fabi is on the Black River team, we asked him what are his plans for the future, and is he interested in getting more sponsors, or is he just happy to continue his amazing Insta grind?
My future plans. What I can tell is that always when I look into my future, I really get excited and look forward for everything that will come. But for sponsors, like, I never have been on the lookout for sponsors and for free stuff and all that thing, and so I will in future. Also because of my Instagram, I get a lot of requests and stuff. That's crazy what's going on nowadays on social media, especially in Instagram. Back then it was YouTube, now it's Instagram, also pretty cool to see. Yeah, and I don't know what's coming in future, nobody can tell, but what I can tell is that there is an Italian fingerboard company called FL-Decks, and the owner is Lorenzo. He's making some really good and unique decks, and I would say just stay tuned on that. Yeah. Oh, but there is one thing actually I know for the future, and that there will be fingerboarding, an Austrian fingerboarding company again by Schmidi and me. So probably on the next team signing, I will be on the other side of the table.
And as usual, we also gave Fabian the chance to let us know some last words.
So, last words. I would say thank you, fingerboarding. And to all the kids shredding their fingertips off, and liking, commenting, scrolling to their feeds, and living in social media. You can't imagine what 15 years of fingerboarding in real life can bring to you. Keep shredding and keep connecting, and when all the COVID regulations get a little bit calmed down, you can please go to every event and to every contest you can, and check out the scene in your local areas. And yeah, ride for fun and love, to the wood under your fingers and not for anything else. And stay healthy, keep doing, and much love to every real one out there. Let your fingers speak.
So, for our second news of the episode, we're talking about X-ramps. Yes, X-ramps are back. Straight from Italy to London, they're still producing somewhat over 10 years later, and are still fully into business. And we have more or less a live situation here. This time the answers are not pre-recorded. We record them in a group chat via Skype, where we're all sitting safely at home in this crazy time. And we have two guests here who introduce themselves now.
Hi there, this is Paolo.
This is Simone.
We are the people behind the new X-ramps, let's say, in 2020. Very nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you too, and thank you for taking your time to be on the show with us. How's life right now for you?
Life is pretty good, thanks. I mean, it's confusing for everyone, I would say, at the moment, but we're quite grateful of where we are, and we try to use all the possible free time we got for this fingerboarding thing. So What do you say?
Yeah, correct. We are not working at the moment for our, let's say, real job. So we have a lot of time to do our biggest passion, which is fingerboarding, which is cool.
Nice.
Nice. That's good to hear. I think this crisis has shown that it has also its very good times for fingerboarding. A lot of people got back into it, and a lot of projects were started. I think there's positives to take from it as well. We had some questions prepared for you, one of which was to go down a bit in the history of X-ramps. X-ramps, if I researched it right, started in 2007, and we were wondering
who was part of the initial crew back then, and what was your aim in 2007 with X-Ramps?
Well, thanks. This is actually a very awesome question, I think, and you did do your homework, Ollie. Yes, we started off in 2007 in Italy, and when I say we, I mean, well, directly it was Stefano Moleri and myself that founded X-Ramps for a ramps events company. But in a matter of a very, very short time, we got to expand our collective naturally. So people that were interested and very interesting in the scene started gathering around what we were doing. And so the collective expanded quite quickly, and that was the secret behind it at the very beginning as well. I think it was from this actually that the long friendship with Simone stems, right?
Yeah, correct. We actually met 10 years ago, so 2010. I was organizing a skateboard contest in my little city around Venice in Italy. And we met there, and I finally met some people that were in love with fingerboard, like I was. And that's it. We started to go together, and we started to organize more events. And I was trying to bring some more skateboard vibes to the fingerboard scene. That's what I was trying to do.
Totally. I definitely backed that up 100% when Simone arrived. It was the kind of the meeting between the two cultures for us. And when it comes to the plans, well, we did build ramps in a shed and parks, and we really liked it. However, our main aim back in the time was already to do events and gather as much people together. So yeah, I would say that was our very aim. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's also what our second question is about, because as you said, X-Ramps, obviously, next to the obvious name bit, ramps, you were very interested in doing events. And talking about history, we were interested when and what was your first event as the official X-Ramps crew?
Well, this brings up a lot of memories. So thanks again. I think it was June 2008. Around the city of Udine in the northeast of Italy. We took part to a music festival, and we asked a space under a gazebo. We put our first big park under that gazebo, and we checked to see what happened. And some very cool and interesting people turned up. We were able to do the first contest ever. It was quite hyping, and to give another tribute to one of the important members of the collective, that's when we met Daniele Comuzzi. So shout out to him. And yeah, that was very, very relevant to the expansion of the crew, and keep going more and more events, really.
Didn't you also post some older pictures of those contests on your Insta? Did I see something there? Is that right?
Yeah, we're given hints here and there. We don't want to look too cheesy and look like we're living off the glory of the past or something. But at the same time, we would really like to share more and more of what we used to do, just to give an idea of what could be then, right?
Yeah, I like it a lot. So the younger generation sees what has been going on before and stuff. I like that.
I think that there is a risk when we as dinosaurs of the scene do that. There is a risk of going for, look, these guys, yeah, you used to do that, right? But what about now? So we try to do it with balance, yeah.
Yeah, that's good choice, I'd say. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's a really good answer. Actually, you stole my shift from question 2 to question 3 from me.
Sorry.
I'm sorry for that.
It's fine, it's cool, because that's exactly what I said. I said, cool enough about the past, but let's shift to the present. I think I not only talk for us, Thom and me, when I say we're happy you're back. We're happy you're back in the scene and more active. Why did you become less active with X-Ramps? Because I know you two as people didn't become less active. And where is the new motivation coming from right now? Like, why is this the right moment to start again?
So yeah, Ollie, thank you for this question as well. I think it's important to give a little bit of background to this. It's never really been about lack of motivation for us. I would say that life happens. And around 2013, I would say, the whole X-Ramps crew moved abroad in different countries, all of the guys really. We always stayed in touch. We never lost that touch, and we kept going to the big German events as well, where all of us were meeting regularly. I guess it took us some years to naturally settle into our own environments, which for some of us was England, for some of us was Australia, for some was Hong Kong, actually. What do you say, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. I was traveling a lot in the last years, so I never actually have time to spend to fingerboard that much. But I never. And now with the new situation, of course, with this coronavirus going on, my restaurant where I was used to work shut down. So I got full time to be on fingerboarding, which is my biggest passion ever. And we are trying to make something out of this weird time that we are living.
Yeah, and I would say that the fact that the worldwide scene is booming so much right now has part of our motivation, definitely. So the whole scene is booming with cool initiatives, and we feel very, very inspired from it. So we all agreed it was the perfect moment to bring the band together, I'd say.
Definitely, I agree. I think we've seen a lot of cool projects coming from the time that people have won. I would say, yeah, they have one time, and I think a lot of cool projects came from it. It's good to see that people follow their passion.
It's also good stuff coming from bad stuff, right? It's very good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. You need to see it positive to not go crazy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's just hope the bad stuff goes away and the good stuff stays.
There's a good Italian song that goes, "Nothing grows from diamonds, but flowers grow from shit."
Yeah, that's good.
Nice one. I like it.
That's a good song. Must be a wise person who said.
I'd say so.
Okay, but let's move on to the next question. You started a new web shop, also with the release of a new logo. For now, you have collaborations with other companies. I've seen that a lot. But will there be, I don't know how to say that, pure XRAMP products, like non-collaborations, basically?
Totally. This is absolutely the most asked question for us. So we're quite used to hear this, and we are very, very happy to reply to it. We on one hand, we are very excited to be working with Manu from Gripskin, Andrea from Zoom, and of course Blackriver. More collaborations, I will tell you, will come soon as well, and we will soon bring in street steel benches as well from Flo, from the fingerspeak scene. However, yes, we are totally working around the clock to bring in new products. They will be XRAMPS products, and I don't feel like saying too much, but guess what? It will be ramps. What can I say? We would like to keep exploring both the past and the future. I mean, we really like wood and granite. We always like that, and we're trying to follow that path. But we always leave space for innovation. I really don't want to say too much, but we're trying some totally new stuff. I think that it's important to be there with new things as well. On one hand, we also received very good feedback about some of our older creations in terms of mini ramps. And perhaps we want to follow that path as well. I'm also going to add one more thing. We wouldn't like to stop at ramps, but that's definitely our first stop. That's our name. That's what we commit to. Yeah, so ramps and parks.
Sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing some.
Yeah, definitely.
If I can add something on this. We tried a little bit to rush up the opening of the site and the web store. There's a moment in which we just want to be there at all costs. So even if it meant not having our own things at first, doesn't matter. We need to be there. We needed to be in the scene. We needed to scream around that we're back and that we want to do those events and the meetups. So yeah, more ramps are coming, guys.
Nice.
Cool. Looking forward to that, and you'll definitely hear it here in our follow-ups when there is new stuff to come. Or even the news, depending on how creative these two get.
Totally.
Yeah. So as we established well already, next to ramps, your main aim is events. And you actually managed to host an event this year, which no one thought would ever happen. How was that, organizing an event in Corona times?
Well, the thing of organizing an event was already very exciting. First time in London and everything very new, finding the venue, finding the people. So this is pretty understood. But yeah, the fact of being in the current situation, what we did was try to follow as tightly as we could the local government regulations for the days in which we organized the event. As we speak, we all know the situation changes day by day, week by week, and country by country, I must say. So we listened to what our local government told us on those days of the event. It was the 13th of September. And we followed that as tightly as possible, and we even did some redundancy into our own enforcement. So what we did was asking to wear masks, providing free masks, of course, cleaning our surfaces and ramps very, very regularly, and primarily setting a capacity limit that we committed to and we couldn't absolutely overdo. Other than that, people had their own sensitivity about it, and so I guess it was quite smooth for us, and we were lucky. Few days after our event, we went into a tighter restrictions, so yeah, we were lucky to just be able to do it. Other than this, the event was awesome. The attendance was small but very, very warm. We discovered finally the local scene, some very good people, some of which we already feel as part of our new big family here in London. So I'm going to take this moment to thanks again everyone that actually showed up on that day.
Nice. It's really impressive, I think. It's really impressive that you pulled through with it.
Awesome.
With the whole event. And yeah, good to hear that you made real life contacts with people you didn't know.
It's a feeling I cannot describe, guys. There's no way I can tell this through a podcast. The feeling of being there and meeting new people, I felt young again, and all the young people felt so comfortable. It was very good. It was very good.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
sweet. That's really cool. So respect, guys. Respect for that.
Thanks, guys.
So that being said, what are your plans for the near future? And what can we expect in the long term, in the upcoming years?
Okay, wow, that's a hard one, man. Right. About the near future, we are young and we are small. We are working right now on many, many aspects of running a legit fingerboard company, really. So at the moment, we are focusing our efforts on creating good content for our followers on socials. This is what we're trying to do, adding more interesting products to the web shop, of course. And as said, working non-stop on our very own products. This is research and development is absolutely key. We're trying to keep our heads on the next meetup. Perhaps we will find a way to actually make it happen one way or another, and how to make it safer, sustainable, and we want to open up to the London and UK scene. So if the situation eases up a little, we would like to make our events a regular appointment. So I would say this is the near future for us. And about the upcoming years, it's very hard to guess. I would say that with some luck and commitment, we would ultimately like to become a point of reference for the scene in UK, in Europe, and why not the world? Yes. On one side, we'd like to become your one-stop shop, right, for quality fingerboard products. But really, I can't stress how events have always been our biggest strength, and we'll focus most of our efforts in creating, say, 2 big international events a year, and we like to think at London as a good hub for this to happen. People may be able to fly in, and you know how events work. People may be able to bring friends and relatives to the event because it's London. So this is really our bigger plan. And not only we organize many events ourselves, we also take Blackriver and ASI Berlin in massive account. We draw inspiration from that vibe big time. So if you really want the full picture, we're also trying to bring in a little of that vibe into our own events. So this is the longer view. There's one more thing we'd like to do, and this will take us some time, but we're committed to it. In the past, we worked with several charities on fingerboarding. We really strongly believe that fingerboarding has a massive barrier breaking power, and we think that London also is a fertile ground for that. We'd be very happy to hear from reality and to get in contact with places where young people don't have many alternatives of fun stuff to do, and come on, what's fingerboarding for that? So that's X-Ramps in the upcoming years, man. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds so good. And I personally love that some OGs come up with an old company again and are in it with their whole heart, as it seems, and really just for the love of fingerboarding try to build something like that. It's awesome. I like it.
Big time, man.
Thanks.
And I because you said it, I don't feel like lying to the listeners at all. I want to be like crystal clear. We are indeed a company, and we will try to make this sustainable from a financial point of view as well. So we would like to make money. I want to say it really, but truly we stand behind the promotion of fingerboarding itself. So yeah, that's perhaps our little difference. But yeah, we totally are a company. I just want to say it out loud. And yeah.
I also really love the charity aspect you spoke about.
Thanks, man.
Really love.
And it's totally no crime in wanting it to be sustainable financially as well. I mean, who doesn't want to live from their passion? You know, that doesn't mean that you're like this evil head of a wrestler, or you know what I mean. Like this is.
I totally get you, and I hope the scene will get that understanding. You know.
Mhm.
I think you can even feel it in that interview that you're in that with real passion. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Your company seems definitely 100% more sympathetic than PopTech, as an example.
For sure. Thanks, Avi.
You're welcome, Tom. Yeah, and I mean, Tom, if you don't have any further questions, that wraps it up from my side.
I really loved all the questions and answers, and I don't have any more right now.
Cool. Then, as we usually do it in every segment, the last words are yours, Paolo and Simeone. And I already, before you have your last words, want to thank you for taking your time and being on the show.
Thanks a lot, guys, for having us. Really.
Yeah, well, our first words are for you. Thank you, and well done for doing this, guys. The scene was missing something like this. We truly believe no one better than you two could do this. So, really, thanks to you for bringing this in. This is the first part of our special words, and then we have another little dedication. Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So we think that in this big world where the fingerboard scene is actually growing under our eyes, we, and when I mean we, I also involve Ollie, Tom, Simone, and Paolo, all of us. We're in a privileged situation to be always kind of ambassadors of the scene. We were going to events and being friends with everyone and being far from the stresses. I don't know if you know where I'm going, but there's a kind of still always a little bit of stress and beef in the current scene, and we want to fly way above it. We will always be friends with everyone, and we are one scene. This is what we want to insist with. So, guys, stick it to your ears. We are one scene. We're one thing in this.
Great.
Cool. One love.
One love, man.
One love. Keep fingerboarding peace.
Correct.
And for our third and final news of the episode, we are talking about another video which was made in the Assi Berlin store in Berlin. And it was the video of a bondage crew meeting. If you don't know the bondage crew, it's a crew from Germany, and let's put it that way, if all the crew members would be in one team, that would be a hell of a team. They made a sick video with great tricks in there, and that was reason enough for us to talk about that video. Thom, what did you think when you watched it?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. All of them are such really great and techy riders, and they destroyed many spots at the Aussie Berlin shop. And yeah, also editing-wise, it was pretty well done. The only thing is the video quality changes sometimes, and sometimes it's almost like an old VX skate video. The quality is not so nice in some clips, but some other clips it's really, really good again. But yeah, that doesn't really bother me because I also like old VX skate footage, so it was quite a nice flair too.
Yeah, and I think even when the quality changes sometimes, the quality in tricks doesn't, and that's the main bit, you know. It's
True. And all of the tricks were pretty dope.
Yeah, true. Bangers throughout the video, I would say.
True.
Yeah,
you should really all go watch it if you haven't already.
Definitely. You'll find the link in our description as usual, so have a look. And Thom, we asked some questions. Who did we contact?
We contacted Stolli, Tobias Stoll, but he told me that the real, let's say, mastermind behind the bondage crew is David Fine. So Stolli sent the questions to David and he answered them. And the first question he answered for us is, how did the crew form and who is in it?
So the bondage crew formed pretty randomly, I would say. I actually don't remember exactly the point in which it started, but I guess it was around 8 years ago. And we were just fingerboarding, making videos and having a good time together as a group of friends. So I think we just decided to give ourselves a name and start making videos as a crew. And we're around 15 guys in the crew. We are Jan Dorst, Leon Befeld, Nico Frank, Ben Schütte, Marvin Herold, Fabio Schafer, Greg Herrmann, Tobias Stoll, aka Stolli, Daniel Seise, Moritz Wächter, Moritz Walter, Yannick Zoh, Benedikt Müller, Steffen Bronsart, Luca Röser, and me, David Fine.
And our second question was, how did they come up with the name for the crew, as bondage is not exactly associated with fingerboarding first?
The name is even more random. Honestly, I think it started off as a joke. We were in a fingerboard contest, must have been like 8 years ago in Bünde, I remember. And we just picked up this term, bondage. I guess somebody spent too much time in the internet or something. And we were young and just sort of a little bit stupid, I would say, and started using this term as a joke, and it became an inside joke, and somehow it stuck. It became our crew name. That's really it.
And the next question was, how difficult was it to organize?
Luckily, it was not that difficult to organize. Some of us even live in other countries now, so you'd think it would be, but we talked about it for a while. We set a date, and we didn't lose track of it, and in the end, it came together. And about the actual video, we all filmed. I think we had like 3 or 4 cameras in the shop. So we had lots of hours of footage with epic tricks. And Nico, the pro editing master, he put it all together, I think within a week, and the video was done. And that was it.
And then we were interested about the dynamics in the group. Who had the idea to do another team/meeting video?
So the idea to meet again, I think, came up initially because, well, it's actually, I would say, thanks to Leon, who basically made an Instagram account for us, for the bondage crew, to upload fingerboard videos again. And then we also made a WhatsApp group, and we started sharing videos and started talking again as a crew, which was super nice. And then I think Stolli came up with the idea of going to Berlin and filming in the Aussie Berlin store, and then Nico said, okay, I'm going to bring lights, I'm going to bring cameras, and And yeah, everybody was really into it. So in the end, after talking about it for a while, we got together and we had a meetup, which was great. Shout out to the Azzy Berlin shop for sure, and especially also Ramon for giving us the store for the weekend and letting us film an epic video there. Thanks so much.
So thanks, David, for taking your time and answering our questions about a great video. And the last words, as usual, are yours.
Thanks, Ollie and Tom, for having us. And check out BNDG-crew on Instagram and follow us. Cheers.
That's it for our news segment. And unfortunately, we have to tell you that this time around, we won't have two very popular categories. We won't have a listener behind the scenes this time around, and also we won't have a product of the week. This is for time reasons and personal reasons and all that. We couldn't manage to get these two categories together, but don't be afraid. They are not gone completely. They will be around again, and already next episode you'll hear Sid's voice again, and he will present you with another product of the week. And also we're working on many listeners behind the scenes, so you get to listen behind the scenes of events, companies, crews, and whatever. So don't worry, and we go straight into another popular category, which is the story quiz.
Yeah, and this week it's my turn to do the quiz. And I did like 2 quizzes this time. At first a short one, and yeah, let's go into the first one. Someone on Instagram reposted the post of Blackriver-ramps about their new 7-ply Blackriver boards. Who was it?
Stefan Klauser, aka Bloody Hand, Fabian Kronsteiner, aka Let Your Fingers Speak, and Martin and
many more.
Martin and Denise.
And many more, I say.
Okay.
Yeah, this was just a funny one because so many people reposted it. I've seen it so often. But yeah, you're right. You won.
Cool.
No wrong answer, I guess. Yeah, but now to the actual game.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not that I will explain the story this time. It's just I let you know the fact and you have to guess. Who is new on the Tech Deck team?
Okay, wow. That is
yeah.
I
announced a new rider, and to make it more interesting, I don't let you know if it's the skateboard team or the fingerboard team, which they have both, I'd say.
What? I didn't even know they have a team in the first place. They have a skateboard and a fingerboard team.
Yeah, they do. They have some pro skaters supporting them too.
Is Leticia in the skate team? Because she does the Tech Deck remote, not remote, the commercial for Street League.
Yeah, yeah, she's in it.
Okay,
sure, yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy.
So there are 3 possible answers.
Okay.
The first one is Cassius Hurst,
Mm-hmm.
who maybe isn't satisfied with his beast pants anymore or something. Or maybe they found him because of his many followers.
Okay, yeah.
The second option is Nigel Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a sick indoor skate line to make the announcement.
Okay.
Or pro skater Torrey Putwell,
Mm-hmm.
who is the co-owner of Thank You Skateboards together with Day One Song and does Grizzly grip tape and stuff. And he posted an outdoor skate line to announce this.
Wow, that's hard.
I know.
That's very hard. Okay. So, well, Nitro is very possible. Everyone wants Nitro on their team for obvious reasons. And Cassius, I don't know. So I understand the Tech Deck side for the followers, the many followers they have.
Yeah, but not his.
But I wouldn't see his side because he is well, he has all the stuff basically, right? He has like parks and
True.
and
Who knows what the offer was?
yeah, that's true, but yeah, okay, I wouldn't see his side. And Tori Padwell, yeah, it's also possible. But on the other hand, he's like I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the. I think I go for Nitra. It seems the most obvious, but I just don't see the other two happening. As I said, I understand why Tech Deck would have Cassius, but I wouldn't know why Cassius would want to ride a Tech Deck again after having already good quality stuff. And yeah, it's kind of 50-50 between Nitra and Tori Padwell, but Nitra would, for me, be the more understandable thing from the Tech Deck side because they're aiming for kids, and therefore I think Nitra is way more known with every kid than Tori Padwell is.
Yeah, nice reasoning. First of all, I gotta let you know that Tori Padwell is already on the Tech Deck team since quite some time, I think.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And Nitra is the new edition. You're right.
Ah, okay. yes. Yeah.
You did it.
But yeah, I saw it for Tori as well, you know. But I thought if you would choose between these two, Nitra is more known with the kids. But,
yeah, true. But now they're both on the team, yeah.
Yeah, they can redo his skate hall. make it all Tech Deck spots.
Yeah, let's see what they will be doing.
Yeah,
nice.
Funny. Cool, good one, Tom. I liked it. It was really
wasn't
good.
easy, but you did it.
Yeah, lucky me. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So, I guess that wraps up the episode, doesn't it?
Should be it, yes.
Yeah, cool. Then, peeps out there, we're coming at you more regular, sometimes with longer, sometimes with shorter episodes. But we're back in it, and we're still there for you, and want to be there for you, and want to share the news of the fingerboard world.
And we're still super thankful for you to listen to us.
Definitely. If you want to listen to us, subscribe us on all possible channels, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, whatever, or just YouTube. And yeah, if you have feedback, let us also know in the comments somewhere. We're happy about that.
Exactly.
Cool. And have a nice week.
Bye, guys.
Keep on fingerboarding. Bye.
Fingerboarding, can't stop. Fingerboarding, can't stop. Fingerboarding, can't stop. Fingerboarding, 'cause I live fingerboarding.